Hello students, how are you feeling today? Are you feeling fine and ready to follow the English lesson? Good. Welcome to iTTV. I'm Miss Helen, your Form 3 English language tutor. Our lesson for today is based on negative adjectives with the prefixes non, dis, un, and im. Negative adjectives with the prefixes non, dis, un, and im. Now think of all the words where you can use all of these prefixes. Now, what is a prefix? Now, a prefix is something that we add to the beginning of a word. And when we add this prefix, the meaning of the original word changes. So follow the lesson closely and you will find it very interesting and very easy. A prefix is placed at the beginning of a word to modify or change its meaning. Prefixes indicating no. Prefixes are also used as antonyms of many words. Now, what are antonyms, students? Antonyms are opposites. Alright, now let's continue with the lesson. Negative adjectives with prefixes. Im. When you use the prefix im, it means not or without. Examples: patient. The person is very, very patient. Now, if he's not patient, he has no patience whatsoever, then you will describe that person as an impatient person. Next, possible. When you add im, it becomes impossible. That means it's not possible. Next, polite. And when you add the prefix, it gives the opposite meaning, impolite. So impolite means rude. Next, pure. Opposite becomes impure. It's stained. It's not pure anymore. So pure becomes impure. You see, we change the word. Next, moral, immoral. Now, when you call someone immoral, that person will feel very hurt because a person who's immoral has no noble values. Moral person has many noble values. Perfect. You add im to perfect and it becomes imperfect. So that means this person has a lot of flaws. It's not perfect, makes a lot of mistakes. Imperfect. Practical, impractical. A practical person does things that should be done. Impractical person sort of does things that's, beyond one's ability. And sometimes a situation is not practical, so you say impractical. Now, we are going on to the next part. Dis, negation, removal, reverses, or the opposite meaning of the verb. For example, the word obey. Now, obey is an action word. It's a verb. So when you add the prefix disobey, it becomes the opposite. Opposite of obey. You follow instructions. When you don't want to follow instructions, it becomes disobey. All right, that's a verb. Next, disobedient. All right. Now, obedient. What kind of a child is that? Oh, she is an obedient child. But if she breaks rules, doesn't follow instructions, then you will say, well, she is a disobedient child. Do you understand, students? Okay. Next, disagree. Opposite is you agree. So when you add dis, the prefix dis, it becomes the opposite. Next, dislike. Dislike is the opposite of like. Disappear. the root word is appear. So when you add this, it becomes the opposite of appear, disappear. Disadvantage is the opposite of advantage. Next, we are going on to the prefix un. It gives the meaning of not, cancellation of action, or reverses the meaning of the verb. Examples, unsteady. So the verb here is steady. So when you add the prefix un, it becomes the opposite, unsteady. Next, unacceptable. The word here is acceptable. So when you add un, it becomes unacceptable, and it is the opposite. Unkind. So what is the opposite of unkind? Kind. The moment you add a prefix, it gives a different meaning. Unfriendly. So the word here is friendly. You add the prefix and it becomes unfriendly. Unhappy. What's the opposite? Happy. Unwell. Now, opposite is well. Oh, I feel good today, I'm well. Oh, I'm not feeling good, I'm unwell. That means you're sick. You don't feel good, unwell. Unlike. Opposite, alike, or you can say like. Unarmed. The word is armed. We have weapons. So no weapons, unarmed. Next, we are going on to the prefix non, which indicates absence or negation. Examples, non-smoker. Now, a person who smokes is called a smoker. So if he is not a smoker, you say non-smoker. Non-member. This is very easy. Now, I'm sure students, you are all members of certain clubs in school. Now, if you're not a member, you say, well, Mary is a non-member of the dancing club. That means she's not a member. So here, non indicates N-O-T, not. Non-stop. Now, non is added to the word stop. What does that mean? That means it's continuous. You're not stopping. Now, students, let's look at exercise 1. Add a prefix to each of the following words to make a new word. Now, number 1, the word is possible. So what prefix are you going to add? Think. Answer, impossible. Good. Next, number 2, lucky. What's the prefix? Answer, unlucky. Opposite. Number 3, obedient. Now what's the prefix for obedient? Disobedient. Next, stop. Answer, non-stop. Number 5, able. The prefix, unable. Now, number 6, friendly. Oh, she's a very friendly person. So if there's a girl who's the opposite of friendly, what's a prefix? Answer, unfriendly. Next, honest. What's the opposite? You're going to add the prefix to get the antonym. What is it going to be? Answer, dishonest. Next, safe. What's the prefix? Answer, unsafe, not safe. Next, member. What's a prefix? Answer, non-member. Next, number 10, obey. What's the opposite? And you have to add the prefix to get the opposite word or antonym. What is it going to be? Answer, disobey. Next, exercise 2, add a prefix to build a new word. The explanation will help you. It's a sort of guidance for you students. All right, number 1, accessible. Now, the meaning given is not approachable. See, not approachable. So what prefix? Think. Got the answer, students? All right, let's check it out. Inaccessible. Now, once you learn all these words, put them into use. Use them in your writing. Next, balance. Lack of balance or disproportion. So what's the prefix going to be? Answer, imbalance. It's not balanced. Okay? Next, qualify. The clue here is unfit or unsuitable. So what's the prefix going to be like? Let's check it out. Disqualify. Now, when you hear the word disqualify, what do you think of? Games, yes. You hear this word being used during games or even during competitions. Next, smokers. Do not smoke. So what's the prefix? Answer, non-smokers. Next, like. And the clue given there is does not like. So what's the prefix? Answer, dislike. Next, number 6, healthy. So the clue is not in good health. So what's the prefix? Now by adding the prefix, you are also forming your antonym. Answer, unhealthy. Opposite of unhealthy is healthy. It's very simple, isn't it, students? Next, alcoholic. It does not contain alcohol. Got the answer? Non-alcoholic. Now, earlier, teacher said alcoholic is something to do with maybe a person, but here there are certain drinks where when you read the label outside, it says it's non-alcoholic. It's safe to be taken by Muslims. You know, Muslims are not supposed to consume alcohol, so it's very important to read the label outside that tells you what are the ingredients. So when you buy drinks, especially grape juice, all right, it's written there sparkling grape juice and it says it's non-alcoholic. That means it does not contain alcohol. It's safe for the Muslims to drink. And children, students, you're not supposed to consume alcoholic drinks. So be very careful when you consume drinks. Make sure it does not contain alcohol. Number 8, fair. Not being fair. What's the prefix? Unfair. My teacher was unfair towards me. See? That means she was not fair to you. All right, next. Patient. Not tolerant. Answer, impatient. No patience at all. Next, honest. not being truthful. So what's a prefix? Answer: dishonest, not truthful at all. For example, happy is the root word, and when we add a prefix, it becomes unhappy, and it is also changing the word to an antonym. Happy, unhappy, opposite. So it's very easy. Now students, remember your prefixes. It's very simple. And students, we have come to the end of our lesson. Hope you have learned a lot. Until we meet again, thank you and bye for now.